Here's the kind of weird, crazy things that when people talk about mystics that really perform magic, not like we see on TV and animation or on a stage. That's magic too. People have trained themselves to learn how to do that. Sleight of hand and, trick the eye kind of stuff. And even bigger things. But real magic, like people like Ramana Maharshi that would be locked in a room and somehow appear outside. Or, as people were talking, they would mention something, say something, and the next thing you know, it would show up. And people wouldn't understand. Well, I do that on a daily basis, but I see that nobody can understand it or notice it, except when they do. Like yesterday, I was talking about Walt Disney. I was talking about this kind of stuff, and I was like, he's from Chicago, which means chi, C-H-I, and then C-A-G as a cage, but an O, ongoing. And the reason that he's from Chicago, Illinois, Illinois. Come on. I mean, I'm not trying to put any of the people down, but it's the name of the state. It's Illinois, something that's ill and something that's annoy. And then you have chi, caged, cargo, a cage with O, or chi cargo without reoccurring, just energy. Energy in a cage. Chicago, the windy city, the fog. Those are spirits. Those are spirits and smog. And why? Because Chicago's the biggest butcher factory in the world. It may not be anymore, but for a long, long, long time it was. That name. Why do you think they go by the Bulls? Because the butcher factory. Why do you think Michael Jordan came from there as a seemingly dark person with great intentions? And he is. And he became a millionaire. And even that didn't distort him. He was still good. He believed in himself, and that's fine. But Bulls, because it's from butchering. Now, Walt Disney came from there. And why do you think that most of the first few cartoons he had were about butchering, or not really necessarily butchering, but a mouse's eye view of like the dog and the beagle and the weasel and the mean farmer, like with the knives and the cutting off of heads? Because he grew up around butchering. I know this because I know his life from his eyes. I'm not trying to sound silly. So I said that to my parents yesterday in the afternoon. Then one of the very first questions on Jeopardy was, what was the very first word on Mickey Mouse that Mickey Mouse said? Or maybe it wasn't Jeopardy, it was something else, and I just happened to walk by, and as that exact question was being asked, and the girl said, yippee, and I was thinking, it's not yippee, but I was like, of course people are going to think that, because they're going to think, Mickey with his ha-ha and his yippee kind of thing. But the very first thing was what? Hot dogs. Hot dog was the very first thing Mickey Mouse said. Why? Because Walt Disney came from Chicago. And what was Chicago? The biggest butcher factory ever that has nothing but death. So he came from there, from evil intentions with a pure heart. His middle name is Elias, E-L-A-I-S. Do you know what that means? God identified as. That's what his name means. And what does his first name mean? Walt. Vault, that's how they would say it in other languages, but you can just say a vital expression causing vital activity as life plus Walt. Or Walter, you could say that same thing, and then energy recognizer, energy reoccurring. Then his middle name, energy ling, or energy lies, identified as source. And then his last name, Disney, defined identity subject, now expressing yoke yonder. So you can actually break it down and say dis as in not, and then you can say nay as in no. So from out of nothing, he made something happen. He's the originator of mega animation. You don't see this kind of stuff anywhere else. You can't have anybody else tell you true magic because you're looking for people to go hocus pocus and make things appear and disappear. That's our imagination. The real world is my imagination. And I've seen it from the beginning. And I know when the end is coming. And I know how to prevent it. And I'm the only one who does completely. Others know how to help. And they're bringing that out. But they're not going deep enough. Their alien stories and their thing stories and their Bigfoots and their everything. Those are real, guys. The more people pay attention to them, the more they study them because it resonates with their name. And I'll actually be able to explain that stuff to you if you just clear what you thought was impossible and listen, because so much is going on that you didn't know, that science doesn't know, that nobody knows, because I'm the one who created it. And the more I concentrate on things like that, the more they come true. So I keep myself calm, cool, chilled, and I can teach this. I can teach everything I'm talking about. I can teach everyone how they can know the truth. But the people in control of you, that control you with money, don't want that. And if they really knew that I'm being honest, I'm in danger. But I want to help them too. So that's the weird thing, is I truly want to help them. And I am truly love. So all these people are like, oh, God isn't love, God isn't that. Like, they don't know God then. They were maybe they had a near-death experience. Maybe they have had 10. Maybe they've taken ayahuasca or DMT 50 times. But they were still in the wrong mind frame. Maybe they've been eating too much meat before they went. Maybe they were a little bit toxified with sugar or caffeine. The craziest little things will unbalance it. Like if you don't understand that and say, hey, I want this chocolate milk to taste like chocolate milk, then put sugar in it and then drop like a piece of, put some ketchup in there. It's not going to taste like chocolate milk anymore because you changed it. Now you, as a person thinking that you're going to know everything when you've toxified yourself your whole life and everyone's lied to you your whole life, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. But when you see somebody telling you the truth right in front of you and knows how to clean you up with your assistance on your part, that's on you. Don't punish the guy who knows the answers because you're too afraid to look into them. But they're here for you, and I love you in a way that you've never understood love. And I'm here for you whether you want to listen or not. The truth is here for people, and that is not a lie. That is the God-given truth, the source, the word, Christ, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all of them. All the mistakes they've made and all the great steps they've taken. All those things I know like the back of my hand because they are. And so is everybody else. But I love them in such a way that doesn't mean that I control them. I would never control them. I'd let them live. I'd let them do what they're here, that they feel they need to do. And most people have no clue, and they wonder. So why wouldn't they want that answer when it is here for them? I can show them. Just like I said with Walt Disney right there, every single being, every state, every planet, everything that we've ever heard of, mythological story, everything that's fact or fiction, they're all real in some way. Neither of them are fact nor fiction. Those are just words. And I can actually go into deeper stuff than just playing with words and being like, well, you can't say it like that. A word isn't a word, but we just call it a word. No, it goes deeper than that. I can use words to explain to you something that you thought couldn't be understood in a way that you can actually comprehend enough to start using it and get to know it better yourself. That's how intelligent I am. But I don't care that I'm intelligent because people don't reward true intelligence. They reward people who want to swindle and benefit off of others and then share it with other people so they can swindle and benefit off of others too. And they don't want to hear it like that. But I care enough about them to be like, you're teaching your kids the wrong methods of living, and they're going to grow up doing the same thing. And everyone's going to wonder why it turned out this way because you were too greedy to realize that you did it too. So until that cleans up, there's really no hope for you except for you. Because once you clean up, then you are hope for other people. But until you clean up, you're not hope just by being an echo box and doing the same shit yourself. I love you guys. Peace.